Hey guys, and welcome to the second episode of our Star Wars Resistance recap show, Viva la Resistance. You have to say it with the French accent, because you have to sound like that jerk, Gregory. You gotta sound like him. Ain't that right, Case?
Not here to talk about South Park. We're talking about another great animated show. Not as great as South Park, in my opinion. Still great. Resistance!
That's true, and to be fair, we have to give Resistance some time to simmer. I mean, we just got done with the first episode, and now we're here shooting the second episode, the Triple Dark, which reminds me very much of a great N64 game from way back when called Perfect Dark, developed by Rare, the same people who did GoldenEye, but that's neither here nor there. But, okay, so now we've sort of gotten the grasp of the concept of the story. Now we get into an angle that I'm glad we're exploring now, which is Kaz struggling to do his find that balance between doing his mission and then actually being a good mechanic / pilot. This is an angle that I'm starting to dig. I'm really starting to dig.
That's true for me as well. I found it very interesting that they paired Cass and BB-8 up to do stuff around the state, around the Colossus, because Cass is like, I'm here to spy. I'm not here to I'm not here to be a mechanic. He is not a mechanic. He doesn't know the second thing about engines, starfighters, whatnot, but he's still forced to do so because that's his cover.
I was gonna say, Ray, he is not.
No, definitely not. He didn't have 15 years on a deserted desert planet. Jesus. Okay, that's a tongue twister for you. To figure out how everything works, the ins and outs of Star Destroyers and TIE Fighters, X-Wings, and whatnot. Yeah.
Are you okay, Case?
I am tired.
You're on a big oil rig essentially in the middle of nowhere with people from literally all walks of life all across the galaxy. Yeah, there's got to be somebody who's a little shady, which is essentially the main premise of this episode. And Kaz goes with BB-8, and they do a little sniveling, a little sniffing around, even though that's not what he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to get a part. One lousy part.
Well, he's focusing on these thugs. They're talking. Let's listen to what they're saying. Well, meanwhile, we actually see. I don't know what kind of species it is. The more interesting part about it, that was a separatist shuttle that we saw.
It was.
That was a cool nod to Clone Wars and Rebels, actually, because in Rebels, of course, at one point they do a separatist shuttle to make the Phantom 2. So that was a nice nod that we have that once again back, because it makes sense that the same ships are still around, of course. And they're trying to fix the shuttle for this guy who actually appears to work for. Actually, he appears to be the traitor, and he didn't. And Cass didn't know that. He figures that out later, of course, in this episode. By the way, yes, we're talking spoilers. I think we pretty much made that clear in the first recap show. So if you are mad about spoilers, you should have just watched the episode. It's not that difficult.
Exactly. You could make the argument it's a little bit kiddish in terms of the setup, but this is actually a very humorous episode, which I found, because the guy's like, "Hey, it's a classic. It's a classic. Don't wreck it." Sort of with that attitude. Sort of the guy who pulls into a '50s car garage and is telling the grease monkeys like, "Hey, don't bust up the fenders." But no, I mean, it was very throwback in that sense, and I really appreciated that kind of humor. I have that picture of Kaz and BB-8 doing their little spy mission, which does come to where I think it's borderline filler in the sense of we're going back to sort of repeating a joke from the last episode, which is that short little blue guy who's like that one creature who's like those aliens from the Phantom Menace. I can't remember what the name of the species is, but Oh, this dude's just annoying. He's so annoying.
He is annoying, but while he's annoying, he is something for Cass because throughout the
That's true.
episode, of course, Cass is having an issue with him. But at the end, they resolved that, and I thought that was like a nice moment. Like he carries his statue around, made out of kudium, I believe, which is something that is from his childhood, and that actually makes it homey. But for some reason, he decided to take that with him. He should not have taken it with him. He should have just left it at home. But the reason that they wrote it that he takes it with him is because he is. Like this thing will drop out. It's like, oh, that is worth money. Do you want to sell it, or that would repay your debt and whatnot? In the end, he uses it to save the little guy and to actually make friends with him because it's like, okay, we're actually decent people here. Because of course there is a bigger threat, which are the pirates that attack the station at one point.
Which, speaking of, because that's pretty much all this episode is. It's pretty much just Kaz and that little guy doing their cat and mouse thing with the two thugs, and then there's the pirates attack, which is the second half of the episode. Which I like the dogfight, I like the setup, I like the storm going on, and I loved this little payoff where Kaz messes with the feedback system earlier, but then that's how he winds up defeating the pirates.
No,
that was
true.
Cool. That was really cool.
I thought like it was a little moment for Cass because like what a show can do at this point is really make Cass be the big hero of it all, saving the day, whatnot. No, it's actually a small moment, which is of course pretty crucial. But he doesn't win the day for everyone. It's a combined effort by the pilots in the air as well, where Cass just helps out. And like, yeah, Cass helps out to make sure that the pirates go away. And he saves the little guy with his statue, which are two small character moments for him that I think are really powerful and really good, continuing his character.
Exactly.
And I like that a lot.
Absolutely. And again, the humor in this episode is absolutely a plus. I mean, there's a lot of really funny moments, especially between Kaz and Tam in this episode. Which, by the way, I'm really I'm quickly starting to like her, even though I still want to see more of what's her name, the pilot from the first episode. The pilot.
No, yeah, Tam. We've got to talk about her in the last recap show, but yeah, she's like this. She's like a little hesitant on Cass, it seems, because she's like, dude, you're not a mechanic, and and you're supposed to be a mechanic, so be a mechanic already. She's like, done with your shit, and she just wants Cass to be capable and help out as he can, and he's trying, of course, but she doesn't really let him.
And she also can clearly see that he's not good at all.
Nope, and actually, that kind of reminds me of myself sometimes, where I am just done with people who can't do their work when I'm working with them. Like, come on, do your shit already. So it makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm no different. So, but that being said, Case, you got any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Oh, it's cool to finally have Phasma in an episode at the end. That was a neat little thing that the pirates were actually working for the First Order, working with Phasma, so that's cool. And yeah, I'm liking it how the episodes like end with this little thing of the First Order to make sure that, oh yeah, the First Order is still there. That's what they're set to do, of course, why Cass is on the Colossus spying. So I just want to see more of that.
Exactly, and when we cut back and we see just this beautiful shot of Star Destroyers, and you see something in the background, it looks like a moon, and then you're like, oh wait, that's not a moon.
It's not a moon.
That's a big freaking space station. So, this was a really good episode, and it's just teasing you. It's just giving you a little morsel of new stuff each time. And I think that's going to be kind of the pattern moving forward. But
yeah,
I want that. I'm okay with that. Case, Where can the good folks find you online?
On Twitter at Dutch Movie Guy. I will say that I am sometimes appearing in these trivia videos on Multiplex Entertainment, mostly fandom because that's stuff that I like. And the thing is, I'm actually going to compete in TV fandom pretty soon, where one of the categories is Star Wars. So there might be Resistance questions or Rebels or Clone Wars. If you like that stuff, check it out. Multiplex Entertainment. And Case Cornelis on Facebook if you know how to spell that. But again, that's probably somewhere in the description where it's spelled out and you know how to spell it, and then you can find me on Facebook.
Absolutely. And you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Stardust at Skywalker Doman. You guys can follow this very channel dedicated to art on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at D2A Channel. And you guys can follow my band Silver Nightfall everywhere at Silver Nightfall. Thank you for watching, guys. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend if you like what you see here. And Viva la Resistance. Take care.
May the Force be with you.
Always.